Earlier this month, Democrats in the Minnesota House rejected a GOP plan that would have cut $646 million from the state budget. The projected surplus for fiscal year 2026-2027 is $616 million for 2028 and 2029. A budget deficit is forecast of $6 billion. Lawmakers have until May 19th to pass a balanced budget, or they will need to hold a special session to keep the government open. Joining me right now is DFL Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I want to ask you about the situation with the budget right now. When you think of the 2023 session and all the big bills that were passed, a lot of people will think of Peggy Flanagan. Paid leave, universal meals for kids, expensive proposals. Do you regret those? And were those a mistake?
Do I regret feeding children? No. Do I regret, working on a policy that, frankly, I was a co-founder of Minnesotans for Paid Family and Medical Leave when my daughter Siobhan was an infant. It took us 10 years to get it done, but it was worth fighting for because families shouldn't have to choose between a paycheck and caring for a new baby, caring for themselves if they have an illness. And I think that these are programs that folks have been asking for a long time. And when we go upstream to make sure that kids are fed, that they can do well in school, in their classes, I think that's an investment worth making. And what we've heard from Minnesotans all across the state who've said, thank you, that they don't have to worry about those meals at school anymore.
Well, the meals at school has been a big success, very popular. Paid family leave coming in 2026, so we'll see how that goes. One of the things I think people also associate with you is you have fought for 20 years now, a long political career, even though you're only in your mid-40s, for inclusion. At the federal level, the president has done away with DEI, and that has trickled down to companies, it's trickled down to local governments. Your thoughts about that?
So here's what I think. I think, when we talk about DEI and just say DEI, let's name what it is. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion, which if you don't think is a good idea just out of the kindness of your heart, it's a good idea to get great results. And I actually think there's a lot of Minnesota companies who are still deeply committed to it because they know that a diverse workforce helps them get better results for themselves, their company, and the region. And I think we need to frame it that way. What is it really? We want people from all different walks of life, levels of expertise and experience to be part of the work in the state of Minnesota, and I think we've benefited from it.
Let's talk about the Senate race. Why did you decide to run for Senate? You were very quick. Within minutes of the announcement by Senator Smith, you had an announcement out that you were considering. Now you are running.
So, I know what it's like to feel like the bottom could fall out at any moment. That's how I grew up, and there are too many families who feel that way. I think we need more people who know that experience in Washington. I was born and raised in Minnesota, and I care tremendously about the state. Donald Trump, what he is doing right now, along with Elon Musk, attacking, the things that people hold so dear, like Medicaid, Social Security. By the way, Elon Musk called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. It's not. It's a lifeline, and it's something that Minnesotans have earned. I spent my whole life fighting for economic security for folks here in Minnesota. I want to continue that fight in Washington and bring it to Donald Trump and his billionaire besties who seem to be the only people that he cares about.
It's a long way away, but will you abide by the DFL endorsement?
It's a long way away. I plan to earn that endorsement. Right now, we're having kitchen table conversations, events all across the state. We've talked to over 700 people so far in the last 2.5 weeks. These are Democrats, Republicans, independents, folks who voted for Donald Trump who said, I think I made a mistake, and we're not, getting on our high horse and shaming those folks. We're saying, come on in, because it's literally all of us against extremist billionaires, and I think Minnesotans understand that.
All right, we do have a list of some of the candidates who've expressed interest. These are obviously candidates from both parties. People who have decided to run include former Senator Melissa Lopez Franzen. And just this weekend on PBS, on Almanac, Representative Angie Craig said she plans to hold town hall meetings in Republican districts. That sounds like a run to me. You would be running against at least two very prominent successful woman as you are yourself. That's quite a situation for people who have championed women in politics here in Minnesota.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? But here's what I know. I'm not running against them. I'm running against Donald Trump. And, you know, I have this little heart with me that I want to show you. This
Sure.
is from a young man that I met named Bentley, whose mom said that they're so worried about potential cuts to Medicaid. And as a kid myself, I grew up relying on Medicaid as someone who had asthma. And so, you know, it's these stories. We're running against Trump because we're fighting for kids like Bentley. And, you know, that's what I plan to do. And that's the campaign that we're going to run, is bringing it to Minnesotans, making sure that people all across the state feel connected to this campaign. And I'm an organizer. It's what I've done my entire career and what I plan to do and how I plan to win this race.
All right. Well, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, thank you so much. We actually will hear from the State Director of Medicaid here coming up in a few minutes. We also plan to invite other candidates who will be running for the Senate. We've got plenty of time. It's 2026 on this show.